Happy Thursday, guys. I hope you're having a great day and are ready for some more science. So last class, we talked about how scientists classify animals into different groups. And the three groups that we focused on were reptiles, mammals, and birds. But the thing is that scientists go even further to put those different kinds of animals in those groups into even smaller groups. So if we think about things like if we think about just animals and the class of birds, so if we think about just the class of birds that we have, are all birds exactly the same? Think about the birds that you see when you're at the beach. Think about the bird that is our national animal. And think about the birds that really like the cold. So if you guessed it, I was talking about seagulls, eagles, and penguins. And are all three of those birds exactly the same? No, they're very, very different. So scientists like to group those into different types of categories too, but it doesn't stop there. They go even further than that, and they like to see the different types of species inside of those groups. So for example, if we look at just penguins, there's different types of species of penguins, which means there's different kinds of penguins. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. Not just penguins, but I'm going to show you guys how they're different. We're going to be talking about frogs. So we're going to continue with the activity that was on our class last Tuesday. But I just want to show you guys how we have different types of species, even within one type of animal. So if we talk about just penguins, if any of you have seen the movie Happy Feet, you must have noticed that there was different kinds of penguins. They didn't all look the same. So when we think about the main character of Mumble, Mumble was actually a king penguin. So he looked like this if you haven't seen the movie. And now if you think about Lovelace, Lovelace was a rock hopper penguin, and he looked like this. Now, did those penguins that I show you look the same? No, they didn't. They looked very different. So even though both are birds and both are technically penguins, they're different species of penguins. So that's what we're going to be doing today, but with frogs. So instead of seeing how they look, we're going to listen to the sounds they make and try to develop different characteristics for those species by the sounds they make, and then try to figure out which type it is. So to start, I need you guys to make sure you have a sheet of paper, and then we're going to fold this paper in a second, but don't worry, I'm going to walk you guys through step by step. And remember, it is a video, so you can pause me if I'm going too fast. But to start, we're going to go ahead and fold this paper in half. So it should be long ways down. So I'm going to go ahead and just fold it in half with my fingers like this. And then I'm going to go ahead and open it up. And then I'm just going to fold it down once more, not too much, just a little bit. And I'm going to fold it just like that. And then bring it back up. So I should see that I formed a T. And now using a pen, a marker, or a pencil, whatever you have at home, go ahead and just trace that T out. So I'm gonna go ahead and trace my T out. And now I have a paper that looks like this. And now on this top box over here, I want you to write frog type. So it should look like that. And then on this box over here, we're gonna write sound. So now it should look like that. So once you have that, we're gonna go ahead and write a number 1 right here. just like that. And then next to that number 1, we're gonna write wood frog. So it should look like this. And again, guys, remember, I am a video. If I'm writing too fast, please, please, please pause me. Now I'm gonna go about 2 lines down, so like about right here, and I'm gonna write a number 2 now. And I'm gonna write spring peeper. So it's gonna look like that. Again, I'm gonna move like 2 lines down. So I'm gonna write my number 3 right here. And now I'm gonna write American bullfrog. So it should look like that. And again, 2 lines down, I'm gonna write a number 4. And now I'm gonna write northern leopard frog. But since I don't wanna write that whole thing out, I'm just gonna put a capital N, a dot, and then leopard frog. But it stands for northern leopard frog. So it'll look like that. And then I'm gonna move 2 lines down again. I'm gonna write my number 5, and it's gonna be my last one, and I'm gonna write American toad. Just like that. All right, guys, so what we're gonna do next is I'm gonna play you the sounds of all of these 5 frogs. And if you didn't pause on the activity we did on Tuesday, then you're already familiar with these sounds. So if you already have words for it, go ahead and use those same words. But I'm gonna write my own words, and you guys are more than welcome to write your own words too. But if you want to use the ones I'm using, that's totally fine. But we're going to start with the wood frog. So I'm going to play the sound in just a second, and I want you to write down what it sounds like or what you hear. So make sure that you're listening, you have it turned up all the way so that you can hear that sound. So I'm going to go ahead and play it, and we are listening to the sound of a wood frog. All right, so, still going. All right, it stopped now. So to me, it sounded like an ub sound. So I'm gonna go ahead and write a U and a B, because the U and the B together, makes that ub sound. And to me, it kind of almost sounded like chickens too. So I'm gonna go ahead and write chickens. Because to me, it kind of sounded like a bunch of chickens together. So that is what I have for wood frog. But again, these are what I hear. If you hear something different, go ahead and write that down too. All right, guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and move over to the next sound. And the next frog we're gonna be listening to is a spring peeper. So I'm gonna go ahead and on this side where it says sound, I'm gonna go ahead and write what I hear for a spring peeper. And a second time. All right, so I kind of heard something that sounded like a beep. So I'm gonna go ahead and write the word beep. Just like that. And I felt like the pitch of it was really, really high, where it almost kind of hurt my ears. So I'm gonna write the word high on there. But I'm writing the word high because I know that it hurt my ears, so it was a high pitch. So I'm not gonna write the word pitch, but just know that when I have the word high on there, I mean high pitch. But again, remember, you can use your own words to describe what you're hearing. All right, so we're gonna move on to the next one. And the next one is an American bullfrog. So we're gonna go ahead and listen to that sound too now. All right, so what did you guys hear for that? I think I heard something like a rah. So that's what I'm gonna go ahead and write down for American bullfrog. I'm gonna write a rah. So I'm just gonna have an R-A-A for rah, because that's what I felt like I heard. And then I don't know about you guys, but to me it kind of also sounded like a donkey. So I'm gonna go ahead and write the word donkey too, because it reminded me of a donkey. All right, guys, so now we're gonna move on to our next animal, and our next animal is a northern leopard frog. So I'm gonna go ahead and play that sound for you now. All right, so to me, it kind of almost sounded, and I think most of us can actually make that sound. You know when you kind of stretch your throat a little bit and you're like, that's what that kind of sounded like to me. I don't know, try it out yourselves right now. Can you guys hear that sound too? Try it. I kind of hear that. So I'm gonna write an E-R-R, because that's what I feel like I'm doing with my throat. And then that's the sound that I hear. And then because I can do that sound with my throat, I'm gonna go ahead and write throat, because I feel like I've heard that sound before, and it comes and I can make it with my throat. All right, guys, the last sound we're gonna listen to is an American toad. All right, so for this one, I feel like I heard a I don't know, I like to repeat the sound, so you can try and do it yourself too. Try to repeat that sound. I kind of heard a really long R sound, so I'm just gonna write a whole bunch of R's for this one, because that's the sound that I felt like I heard. But then I also felt like this one was very high pitched and continuous, because it kept going. So I'm gonna go ahead and write the word high again, and by high I mean high pitched. And because it kept going and it felt really long, it never stopped, I'm gonna go ahead and write the word long too, because I felt like it was really long. All right, guys, so now that we have all of these sounds, I want us to try to see if we can determine what frog is making, we're only gonna do 2 of these, but what frog you guys think it is by the sound. So you should have your notes listed right here. I'm gonna play 2 frog sounds, so you should have some room left right at the bottom. Go ahead and draw another line. On this box, I want you to write a number 1, and then on this box, I want you to write a number 2. So it should look like this. And in a second, I'm gonna play you 2 sounds, and I want you guys to be able to tell me what you think that animal is. So, I'm gonna play you guys a sound. What did my computer do? Just 1 second, guys. My computer moved off of the page I was on. All right, so this is the first sound I'm gonna play you guys, and like I said, I want you guys to record right here whether it's a wood frog, a spring peeper, an American bullfrog, a northern leopard frog, or an American toad, right here on the box that has a number 1, because that is the first sound I am playing for you. Sorry guys, it's still being a little weird. Oh. Okay, sorry you guys, ready? And make sure you are listening. All right, guys, so using the information you have here, what animal do you think made that sound? Or what species of frog do you think made that sound? And go ahead and write that for box number 1. All right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and play you sound number 2 now, and you're gonna go ahead and record what animal you think it is on sound number 2. One more time, just in case you didn't hear it. Just 1 second, guys. All right, guys, so what did we think sound number 2 was? And go ahead and write that down on box number 2. So what species do we think made that sound? And write it on box number 2. All right, guys, and when you've done that, you're all done for the day. So thank you so much for doing this activity with me, and I will see you guys again on Tuesday.